listeners, and welcome to Four Weebs, That Anime Podcast. This is a special episode. It's our fourth special episode, and I finally got to pick. My name's Leah, and everyone else.
Holy shit, 28 episodes. I'm back. Woo.
Who are you?
It's a good thing Liam came back, because we were getting a little,
crazy.
Running a little
Yeah,
wild.
a little.
I'm glad you didn't find a new harem lord to replace me.
Well, we didn't think we should start
held
looking.
auditions, but I mean...
Yeah.
Mm.
No one...
You just couldn't part from sweet Liam-san.
No.
Nobody lives up to you, Liam.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
My name's Becca. And... Don't you fall in love with that boy! That's all I got.
What?
Don't you fall in love with that upside-down boy! There
Oh.
we go. That's the topical reference.
I don't remember what part of the movie that was from, but I figured...
We'll get
Oh.
to it.
Yeah, we'll get into it. Fuck my life.
Anyway, I'm Veda. Hi. Thanks for listening this far, everyone. All you listeners that listen.
Public service announcement from me and Leah. If you haven't played Fire Emblem Fates, you should play it, because it's like an anime strategy fantasy game that's also a dating sim. And it's just so great. It's got like the feel-good feelings of crushing your enemies, along with the feel-good feelings of like
Crushing the hearts of other people?
Just melting your waifu's heart and playing matchmaker with all your warrior friends.
Oh. You know what no one has played?
Ni no Kuni?
Ni no Kuni!
What is that? Does it have
Someone
cats?
Play this game. Yes, it has cats. It has cat people too.
Oh my god.
It's the game that was developed by Studio Ghibli along with Level 5.
I've seen pictures of that. I want Adam to play. I don't play games.
So he does the music.
I want Adam to play it so I could watch it.
No, I totally do. I don't play video games. I made like a conscious decision when I was about 16 that I wasn't going to be a video game player because I suck at using the controllers. I know it sounds like a stupid reasoning, and it's been a while. Anyway, I want Adam to play it so I can watch it because it looks so pretty.
Well, everyone can come over to my house and I will play it because I freaking love that game.
I don't have a TV or a PS3, so...
You don't have a TV?
Well, I have like a bunch of random computer monitors with various adapters to plug various things into them, but it's not
well, good.
I'm house sitting at my sister's place for 2 weeks in August. We'll just go over. She's got a PS3. Okay,
invite me. I'll bring my copy and the book that I have.
What about me?
You can come too.
And Becca.
Great.
Liam,
it was implied.
I'm coming anyway, you can't stop me.
Oh.
Anyways, so Leo, what the fuck is this episode about?
Okay, so as mentioned before, listeners, it's a special episode, so we kind of stepped away from the whole good anime, bad anime, and I got to pick whatever the hell I wanted. So
finally.
Yeah, right?
Finally.
By default. No marble draw. I was just the last one to get to pick.
We had to give it to you eventually.
Yeah. So, I picked a movie because it's nice, it's easy, and that way we get to all talk about the same thing together.
Mm-hmm.
Nice girl Leah just makes everybody watch something good.
All
no
the
bad.
butterflies.
She has to make up for a lot of shit she's slung at us at other times.
True that.
So, this is my redemption, so I don't get murdered. Alright.
Special episode 28, Leah's Redemption.
There you go. That's what you can call this one.
Titles!
Alright, so we watched Patema Inverted. Brief description: a young girl from a civilization that resides in deep underground tunnels finds herself trapped in an inverted world and teams up with a resident to escape and return home. So, inverted meaning everything's upside down.
Don't you fall in love with that upside down boy!
Oh boy.
That's only gonna be like the 8th. Like,
do we think I need to find a more descriptive description? Or
no,
do you
that
think
sounds
good,
that's actually pretty good.
I feel like we're gonna talk about it anyway.
Yeah.
We're probably gonna spoil stuff.
Yeah.
Just so you know, people out there.
So I figured
to
give it a little bit of what's the word?
Depth.
Wow.
What's that?
What the hell is wrong with me? Oh my god.
I feel like
direction in conversation, we can maybe split it up a little bit. Like, talk about, like, the animation and then the story, and then the characters, like that sort of thing, you know?
Sounds good to me.
Do you want to leave?
Sorry, I had to get up there for a sec. What I missed?
We were just shit talking.
I said just to try and give us a little more of like a outline, so we don't end up just talking randomly and get lost everywhere. That I kind of thought we'd focus on like individual topics, like animation, story, characters, that sort of thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
Should
I
we
don't really-
give like our first impressions?
Yeah, we can do that first. What's your
Well,
first
you picked
impression,
it.
Liam?
Oh, okay. I really liked this movie. It was super fun. It hurt my eyes a little bit, but like in a good way, you know?
Yeah, my brain definitely struggled for a little bit.
I definitely, like, it was a nice surprise of a movie. Felt like a pretty cool original idea, and the animation was good. And I had a fun time watching it.
Hooray.
Good. Veda?
Yeah. I thought this movie was really cute. I don't know what else to say for first impressions. It was nice. I don't want to like go into it too deep right now. The characters were kind of Ghibli-esque, so that kind of brought me in a bit. And the backgrounds were really pretty, so it'd be worth it to have like an HD version of this movie, because everything would look so much prettier than the version that I watched it on, which was the crappy internet version. So
thanks, internet.
yeah, hooray!
Quick question before we get to Becca. Sorry, who watched it in sub or dub?
Oh, I watched sub.
I watched
Sub.
dubbed.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Becca watched it dubbed. Okay,
Yep.
I watched it subbed as well. Initially, I had planned on watching it like half and half, and then I got too lazy and just kept going sub.
I suppose I should clarify. Visually, I watched the subtitled version, but audio-wise, I put the dub on. I synced them up because I didn't want to have to read subtitles. But because the subtitles were on the screen, I did end up comparing them to the dubs, so I guess, like, I didn't hear the voices from the Japanese version, though, so. But, yeah.
Fair.
Mm-hmm.
And what were your initial thoughts?
This movie was really unremarkable to me. I was really excited to watch an animated movie because I've found a lot of the animated movies I've watched I've been really happy with, and this one just left me completely flat. Like, it's not that I didn't enjoy it, but it didn't deliver anything to me that I wasn't already expecting. I gotta be that guy, sorry.
No, I'm kind of in between everyone. Like I really enjoyed watching it, and I thought it was really pretty. But when I sit back and look at it, I would never be like, oh my god, someone, you gotta go watch this movie. It's really good. And then the premise was. It depends. Part of me really likes it, and the other part of me is like, oh, they could have developed that more.
The premise is really great. I really like the premise, but the execution was pretty poor in my mind.
I have a random fact.
Hit me!
Apparently, okay, so I was reading into some comments a little bit, and apparently...
This is based off another movie?
Is it?
Yeah! There's an American film called Upside Down.
Yes, I've heard about this, but this is the one I'm referencing.
It's like the same movie, but it came out in 2012. Patema Inverted came out in 2013. And I was like, I'm not saying it's technically plagiarism, because I was reading something where the director of Patema was like, oh, I heard about that there was a film with a similar concept, but I tried to stay away from it because he didn't want to end up.
No, but it has Kirsten Dunst in it.
So
it does.
So my reference quote at the beginning.
Ooh, Jim Sturgis. Sorry.
My reference quote at the beginning of the episode is from another podcast I listened to. See You Next Wednesday. They went and watched that Upside Down movie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
And they did not like it.
It doesn't have very good ratings.
The only thing that came out of that movie was the quote, "Don't you fall in love with that upside down boy!"
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
I understand now.
So, and I was kind of wondering if this movie was based on that movie, because it's
not
so comparable.
Based on it,
or
as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
Our countries are far enough apart, no one will ever know.
Yeah, I can't say for certain. But I don't think it was intentional, and if it was, whatever.
I think as an overarching idea to think about, kind of like how we were talking last week about how there's a lot of these Back to the Future type movies shows happening right now with a lot of time travel. once again, using the whole like upside down inverted world thing as a plot device, not necessarily bad.
Well, that's at the same time. Everything in anything is kind of a plot device. I mean, you know,
basically. Well, I think that the whole upside down thing is more or less of like a frame for the story. It's not supposed to be like, here's this cool sci-fi technology that could totally legitimately happen. You know,
I don't know. Spoiler alerts, I guess, for like the twist of the movie. But my favorite part was the twist ending at the end, or I guess kind of towards the end, where the people who are kind of portrayed as the people who had the right side of gravity were the people who were the wrong side of gravity, and that like the clouds above in their world were just like fake.
We'll get it. I kind of want to talk to that about that a bit more, because that was one of the things that led me to not liking this movie very much.
I was just
really talk about it later, guys. Everyone,
get to it in a minute.
Once we shed more light, so then listeners can actually understand the gravity of that conversation.
I don't know. I thought it was
Does somebody
really nice and a good twist.
Yeah. We'll get to it, Liam.
Does somebody want to do a run through of what happens in the movie?
Thanks for making me hate this movie, assholes.
No, and that's what I was going to do. I was going to actually go and get a bit more of a like literal description.
Don't hate it, Liam. Just
you have your opinions, and
Liam, I liked the ending too. We'll get into it. Okay.
And there are some things I liked. Like
speaking to the live action
that is always the hard
thing,
one to please.
Yeah.
Speaking to the live action thing, which I hadn't heard about until now, I have a really hard time picturing how that would like work.
I think it's on Netflix if you're interested in checking out.
Actually,
the side.
Now I remember seeing a trailer for it, but I feel like making that work in live action would be super awkward.
It actually, like, from the trailer I watched, it looked okay. It's just green screen.
I haven't watched any trailers or anything about it, but I like the overarching concept.
Well, I love the like whole gravity thing, because I'd never actually heard of that until you talked about Patema. I'd never even heard of this Upside Down movie until today, so yeah.
Anyway,
okay, I found a bit more of I'm just gonna kind of skim the Wikipedia plot.
Sounds good.
Listeners, if you want like legitimate play-by-play of the entire movie, maybe just watch the movie. If not, go and read Wikipedia.
Always watch the movie. If it sounds like there's anything you might enjoy, go check the movie out. Make your own opinion. But this is ours.
So we know about this girl Patema. She lives in the underground community. They're taught to stay away from danger zones, which are tunnels that surround the community, because mysterious, like, bat humanoids are there that might get you.
Just monsters, isn't it? You might get getting by the monsters.
Well, they specifically quote that bat humanoid thing like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah. Anyway, so whatever. Patema's like the princess of the underground world, and she goes, screw that rule, I'm gonna go through all these danger zones anyway.
She wants to have fun and adventure.
She's a rebel.
Yeah, she's Belle from Beauty and the Beast.
She's hashtag rebel.
And then naturally, one of the quote-unquote bat humanoids comes, which is basically, you can tell it's like a human in a gas mask and a cloak, but they kind of look like a bat because of their
upside down.
And they're upside down, because they come from the other side.
They have different gravities.
So yeah, anyway, she ends up like falling through this hole, and then she ends up... It is cool, like, how it works, because then it looks like her falling.
Yeah, visually, I
don't even know how you describe it.
Yeah, that was something I'd never seen before. That's like why I really liked it.
It's kind of like the sky, because when the sky is the ground for her when she's falling.
Yeah, so it's like when she fell through the hole to get to the like other side of the earth. Basically, it almost looked like she's falling into the sky. It's like she goes through this cave. Like it looks like at first it looks like she's falling down through a cave, and then all of a sudden it opens up into the sky, and she's still falling. Like, basically. Falling up into the sky. And then there's this teenage boy there who is sitting around the same place she falls, and he grabs her and then keeps her grounded, basically. So...
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah. Oh. I wasn't even on purpose. Anyway.
We're so clever.
So, Iga's the place. What's the teenage boy's name? What's his name?
E something. AG?
I think so.
Age?
AG?
AG.
Fucking, it's
I think
E
it's AG.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
AG or whatever. So he looks like we would in our reality. This world throughout the movie looks like ours.
Standing wise.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of, like, Hitler Nazi places. Just everybody, everyone
It's very
wearing, like,
totalitarian.
I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there.
And Big Brother government.
Yes.
Anyway, so he has to hold down Patema. Usually throughout the movie, she just kind of, they wrap themselves around each other's chests.
Day 69.
That's what, oh, thanks,
Yeah.
Beta. You know what, Beta? I was not expecting it to be you. I was like,
You know what?
gonna make this comment, and I didn't think it'd be you.
I'm so glad it's Veda that made it, because...
You're welcome. Well, I couldn't stop thinking about it the whole movie. I was
It's
like,
true.
really?
The first, like, 10 minutes, you have to get over it. And then
It's
get
so
over
weird,
it.
because I got
If it
over
was-
it right away.
I
There's a
got it.
foot, like, they're
Something's
like
wrong
a
with
foot
me.
away. They're like a foot away from 69ing.
Well,
they're
and
really close.
initially when they get together, doesn't he hold her hands and she holds his, and he, like,
Well, yeah.
kind
and
of walks
then
her
they-
along like a balloon, and as the story
Mhm.
progresses, they become more and more like where they wrap their arms around each other's waists, and it's like, oh, they're
Mhm.
definitely moving towards that, like, precarious position.
That's true.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Upside down sex.
Oh.
Don't
Just think
you
of how-
go fuck that upside down boy.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Anyway, so the world that she fell into, where Eiji lives, is the totalitarian nation of Aiga, founded to protect the citizens from danger zones that were created by the failed experiment, which basically threw gravity out of whack and only affected certain people. So it was said that certain people started raising into the sky, and it was said only sinners were inverted.
Yeah, they give a weird, like, religious context
Mhm.
to it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, and the leader of this nation sees the failed experiment and all the inverted people. Because he sees them as sinners, he wants them eliminated. So when he finds out about Patema, he captures her, basically. And then the movie's basically...
Him Frodoing
Him.
all over her.
I didn't
Yeah, or
really
Frollo.
understand his, like,
Frollo.
his motive, though.
He reminded me a lot of Frollo,
Frollo?
from The Hunchback of Notre
Yes!
Dame. Like, just
Oh,
visually how he
I
looked,
agree.
and then also how he was acting towards the girl, where it's like, she must be
Kinda rapey.
mine and mine alone. It definitely comes off a bit rapey towards, like,
I didn't
the later
really
bits.
get that, though.
No.
Like, why was he all like, I need her to be mine if he wanted them all dead?
No, I 100% agree with Becca. Like, as soon as I met
Because
his
he was
character, I was
scared.
like, it's Frollo.
Oh.
It's like the boy. It's like what she says. He's scared of. He's scared that, like, because he has that fear in the back of his head that
Mhm.
Aiga is the place where the gravity is upside down, and he wants to.
Right.
He's scared of her, so he wants to control her and dominate her
And then it
because he
becomes all, like,
wants to prove. He wants to
Oh.
prove that Aiga's gravity is the right gravity and that she's the one with the wrong gravity.
Yeah, he's in
Okay.
denial and doesn't want to face his fears, therefore he needs to control
Yeah.
what he
so there's
doesn't understand.
there's definitely some weird, like, well, I'll get into it shortly, where there was, like, some weird plot holes, at least for me, and I don't know if it was because I was watching the dub or not, where it does, to me, it didn't really explain whose side was the right side's gravity, like, whose gravity was the right gravity. I thought
It started
the
to get
entire...
a bit confused.
I thought the
I
entire
got-
point was that, like, everybody's gravity is the right gravity, and we should just accept one another and love
No,
one
no, 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 no,
another.
no.
I don't know, I didn't really think anything of it. The whole movie, I just assumed Aiga was the proper gravity until the
Yeah.
ending of the movie, and then I was like,
Aiga's
oh, that's a
the
cool
wrong
twist.
gravity.
Yeah.
Because it's obvious. Because like the fake sky that's created at the bottom of Aiga, where the gravity is upside down. That's what the whole That's why the whole totalitarian, like, quasi-religious regime is there, and it's super controlling because they don't want people finding out that they're actually the quote-unquote sinners and that they've got the
How-
upside down gravity.
Okay.
So my question is, how did you know? Well, I don't know if we're getting ahead of ourselves, but how did you know that Aiga was ultimately the one that had the wrong gravity, or was like the sinners that got shot up into the sky?
The ending.
Because
The
no, the
skyscrapers.
ending, but it looked like the skyscrapers were the skyscrapers that, like, ripped off, and, like, it looked like they dropped on the other side. Here's where, like,
Huh?
to me, none of that made any sense whatsoever, because, like, you had to go through the planet to get to either side.
To
I
me, it
don't
makes
think
sense.
so
they're
I
going
just
through the entire
understand-
planet.
Okay, so think of it this way, guys. So where Patema comes from, the quote-unquote, like, underground community, picture that as, like, the middle on the layered cake, right?
Yeah.
So when Patema, you know, quote-unquote, falls, because we know, let's just assume that it was self-explanatory at the end of the movie. So we know that Patema's technically the right kind of gravity.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So she's falling down, right? So she falls down into Iga.
Yes.
And then at that part in the movie where they're all kind of fighting in the community, and they end up going up, right?
Yeah, and they land on that, like, weird, like, industrial power grid type place.
No, and I'm not talking about when they
not when they go into the sky.
Yeah, I'm not talking when they go in the sky. I'm talking like at the end of the movie.
Okay, yeah, and they go up.
They go up.
Yes.
So I just try to think of it as like a layered cake, right? Because then if they were to go back down, then they would hit the community, and then they would fall into Iga again. I'm doing a really terrible job explaining this.
No. I completely get the layer cake idea. And that's what I'm thinking, too, is, like, they're obviously in the middle of these two different planes.
Mm-hmm.
To me, like, the planes are two different sides of a planet or something. And this is the part where I'm like, I don't know exactly how it works. Because when I watched the bit where it shows the skyscrapers, to me it looked like they were the skyscrapers that had ripped off of Iga, ended up on that other side of the, quote, planet. But it didn't make any sense to me because then in Iga, when they fall into the sky, they eventually hit that, like, industrial surface where there's all the lights and everything, and they realize that the stars aren't stars; they're just this power.
See, that's still inside, isn't it?
I think it is. I think that's almost like the roof of their like the wrong. But I don't know. But I agree with you. Like, it's still, the whole thing's still kind of flawed because if you think about it, what I have to wonder is if this world is more like in blocks, because if it's still like the Earth where it's spherical, this whole thing doesn't really make any sense unless Iga is legitimately like inside the Earth, also underground, but they somehow manage to get a fake atmosphere.
That's what I thought it was.
So, but the only way that I could rationalize it in my head was that the entire world this movie's set on was set in, like, a spaceship, kind of like, I forget what they're called, but in Gundam Wing, they have outer communities that are in space, and the way those work is there are these big orbs, and everybody lives on the inside of the orb, but it's like the outside shell. So if you look up, you see the other side of the orb where people are living, but the gravity keeps you attached to the orb, so you could essentially walk to the other side of the planet.
Oh, actually,
like, in my head, I was like, all I need them to do to explain this whole, like, funky gravity thing is be like, by the way, we're on a spaceship, and maybe something a little bit more, but that would have been enough to, like, explain it away to me.
Okay, I forgot that I actually found someone's kind of description of what they think it is that I think is actually pretty legit.
Pretty accurate.
Okay,
I forgot I had written this down. So this person says, it turns out that Patema and the inverts were actually the right side up and the normal people were upside down. When they go into the balloon and quote-unquote fly, they actually fall into the core of the Earth or somewhere close, and that's why it gets so hot before they leave. The normal people place, so Iga, is on the inside of the mantle, so technically both inverts and the others live underground. The inverts dug into the mantle to reach Iga initially, and they were the scientists that the elder mentions at the end. So basically, kind of like Liam said, Iga was based off all the scientists and the people who don't want that population to know that they are the wrong side.
Okay.
So the surface at the end is the real one, and those buildings were the ones that didn't fly away.
Yeah. Okay.
Does that make sense?
It's not a bad explanation.
That makes sense. I just
so it's kind of like we were all trying to say. It's like they're inside the Earth.
Yeah, I just wish it made sense in the movie.
Yeah.
Like,
they don't explain it very well.
Well, and I've been very much like, show me, don't tell me. But in this case, please tell me.
A little bit, anyway.
Because it's really confusing if they don't, like, zoom out if they don't zoom out to show, like, all these layers or do something to show all these layers. I just ended up being like, I don't know which direction is the right direction. In my head, they're both kind of the right direction because there's nothing separating these two groups of people besides the fact that their gravities are messed up. So it was just that was one of my like biggest issues was I was just really confused at the end. It didn't feel like it had like a final thing, and I didn't get that twist. It wasn't a twist to me. It was just now everyone's gonna be okay with one another despite their gravities being different. Cool, whatever. Like fucking A, I guess.
I know. I kind of just let the movie confuse me a little bit, like because I feel like sometimes with sci-fi you gotta.
Oh, definitely.
Let that happen, and then when it was over, I read about it a bit more, and then it made sense.
It didn't feel like it was supposed to be confusing to make me think, though. It felt like it was being confusing because they didn't know how to explain it properly.
I don't know. I feel like it was trying to be like again. I'm so torn on this movie. Like I agree. I think they could have done a bit of a better job, but at the same time, I think they were trying to make you think.
Yeah, a little bit, but I think it's also going like more for an artsy feel.
That's what I was gonna say. I think it's also one of those movies where, oh fuck, what was I gonna say? Yeah, like you're not really supposed to think about it too much. You're kind of just supposed to let it take you. But that's the kind of person you are, right, Becca?
Yeah. No. What I'm saying is, in order for me to get that twist, I have to think about it. So on the one side, they're like, don't think about it too hard. Our explanation isn't that great. But to get the twist, you need to think about it.
Maybe that's what they wanted.
Argue not really.
I feel like it depends how you went about watching the movie.
Maybe, yeah.
Like if you kind of like what Liam said, he kind of just let the movie take him where it would.
Take you.
Well, and I didn't sit there from like. I tried to let the movie take me, but like I said, I came out having more questions than I had answers, and I chalked it up to bad writing because it felt like there was hints towards other things, like the whole sinners and like this weird religious aspect and stuff like that. Like I got that, but there's other things that are missing. Like everybody suddenly turns on the anime Frollo. Like nobody backs him up, even though he's supposed to be the leaders of the people that are quote unquote facing the right way up.
That's because they can all tell that he's crazy, and they don't care that inverts are inverts.
But it didn't make any sense.
They really quickly like kind of tried to show that because you know how when they were in the tunnel or whatever, and Crazy Frollo guy brought all his minions with him.
Yeah, and then like one
the people saved them when they fell.
Yeah,
and they were they're not evil.
Well, and like Minion number 1, who they introduced in the second half of the story, because he's the only other minion that gets a face. Yeah. You see him change it. Like you see him deciding not to follow Crazy Frollo dude.
Yeah.
But there wasn't enough there for me to explain why they turned on him, because there's like you see so many other shows where everyone knows the leader guy is crazy, but he's the leader for a reason. Like, it felt like it didn't feel like there was any lead up to his entire society just suddenly turning on him. And him just going kind of crazy doesn't justify that to me, because we didn't even see a lot of, like, how he was before. Yeah. We don't know if that's him being crazy, or if that's just the way he is.
Partially the writing was a bit rushed there. Like,
I would just argue the writing was not good at all.
Yeah,
on outside of the surface level, I don't think the writing was that.
It wasn't that deep. Like, I don't know. It felt like they were trying to go for, like, this deep commentary on stuff, but they didn't know really how to write it.
Yeah.
Yes, they were just sort of like, oh, this is kind of an element I've seen done somewhere else, so we'll throw the crazy dictator guy in there and have some minions, but then they'll turn on him, but then they didn't know why, so they just sort of reason.
Well, it's just like, well, obviously they turn on him because the people we're following are good, and Captain Frollo guy is bad. The audience knows that, so they'll understand why everyone switches on him.
Yeah, and then they'll be like, no one will just question this because obviously it's right.
But I don't know, you kind of see it with the minion who actually does get a face throughout the movie a little bit. Like, once he captures Patema, you can tell that he's kind of struggling a little bit because he doesn't agree with how she's being treated.
I didn't really see him struggling, though, until Count Frollo has them up on, like, the roof, and he's threatening to shoot, to, like, push, I feel so bad for the listeners right now, because I'm horrible with the names and everything. Edgy. Edgy. When he's on the roof, and he almost falls off of the tower, and and Frollo is like, I'm either gonna shoot you or you're gonna get off. But then he throws the gun to his minion because he's not even, like, enough of a leader to, like, put the blood on his own hands.
Well, that could be another reason why he doesn't want to back him.
Well, yeah, that's fair enough. Like, I said, it's not necessarily wrong that the guy doesn't back him. It's just I didn't feel like there was enough reason for him to suddenly change his allegiance from a guy that he's been following for many, many years to just switch because he's mistreating one individual person. Because the crazy Frollo dude seems like he probably mistreated a lot of people, and that's why so many people are just, like, blank and just, like, following the day in and the day out because they've been beat down, they have no other options. But in order for them to have no other options, that guy would have had to have done something major to keep everyone else in line. And I don't
Which is why, like, I don't know, maybe this makes me, like, a mindless movie watcher, but that's kind of why I accepted everyone turning on him, because they obviously made him a bad character for a reason. I'm just assuming he's done bad shit in the past. Yeah. Their society is obviously terribly unhappy. So it's kind of like, once those people that are in the opportunity to change their leader and change their lives, it made sense to me that they were going to take it.
Well, and it just didn't fit all together with me. Like, on the one hand, he's keeping Patema secret. Don't let anybody know that I have this girl that flips upside down. But on the same time, people don't even see her, but they accept that he's not a good leader and turn against him. But, like, in the grander society, especially if he's keeping Patema secret, and then he's talking about making edgy, like, what was it? An example. Make an example of him.
I will say that is one thing I found a little flawed. Like, they didn't really explain what his plans were with them and why it wouldn't be anything. Like, that I agree with. To me, it's not so much... I think it makes sense that those people who were with him at the time in the underground community turned on him. I think that makes total sense. For me, what doesn't make sense is, kind of
everyone
like,
else,
he didn't really... Like, what were your plans?
They never give him, like, a true motive.
Yeah, exactly.
He's just a bad guy for the sake of being a bad guy. All of his entire motive is, I'm the bad guy, so I'm going to do the bad guy thing. And I found that really frustrating, because I was like, it doesn't make... Some of these things that you're doing in the bigger setting of the movie don't make any sense. Like...
Well, I vote that we let Liam have some words before we completely crush his soul. Aww. So, Liam, I know you liked the movie.
Too late, soul crushed.
No, what did you like? Let's talk about the stuff. I liked it.
Yeah, there's stuff that I liked. Let's get into that.
Yeah.
Lead us, Liam.
Go, Liam.
Welcome back.
I don't know. I kind of lost my thunder now.
Oh, what did you like about it?
Well, I mean, like you said, the movie was pretty cute.
Mm-hmm.
And... So, like, it was nice. I'm not saying it's, like, a super sophisticated movie, but I thought the combination of it being, like, having cute and happy moments, and the combination with the cool original idea of the gravity being flipped for some people, and, like, I just thought that worked really well for the anime.
I think that's why I enjoyed it.
I wasn't expecting it, and I was pleasantly surprised, and that was enough for me. I didn't really care much about the plot holes. I didn't really notice any plot holes. I don't know if that means I'm just not as good at watching the movie as you guys are, but
I really enjoyed it and I thought it was adorable, and it wasn't really until after the movie that I kind of thought more about it, and especially because I watched it almost a week ago, so I was like, okay, what should I talk about? And then Becca brings up a lot of stuff, which then makes me start to think and that sort of thing. But before we started recording...
One more. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, keep going. You were in the middle of something.
It was just a quick thing, and then we'll go back to you. It was just that throughout watching the movie, I liked it. It was enjoyable. I didn't try to focus on the big things too much because I was just enjoying it, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Yeah, same. I was enjoying it.
I was going to say, for the argument of me being a more critical viewer, when it comes to movies, I'm not always the best at picking out plot holes and stuff like that, and that's why I feel like this one really makes me upset, because I usually don't notice the plot holes till somebody else points it out, but this one it just felt so blatant that I was like, how could you miss these, I guess? And... That's not to say anything bad about you guys. That's just to say that's where I'm coming from.
It's not to say that I missed them. It's just that I didn't really care because I was enjoying it, right?
Well, and yeah. Continue, Liam.
I I don't know, my favorite parts were just the twist at the end, which I already talked about, and the thread isn't really going anymore, but back to the cute part, like when they're in his father's flying/falling craft,
Yeah.
and they're on the cloud thing, and how something startles them, and they both kind of like sit back, but because
it's so cute.
they're orientated,
Yeah.
like they finally
Yeah.
see each other. They finally see each
kind of
other
right
right side
side
up
up,
for the
yeah.
first time, and I guess it's like kind of implied that they kiss, but they don't show it. And
You know,
That was so
thought
cute.
that was just a good moment.
I really wanted a
Yes.
scene where just, like, she's laying on the roof, or, like, the one plane, and he's laying on the other plane, and they're just looking at one another. Like, I kind of wanted that, where they could look at each other, give each other, like, the up and down, and not spending their entire times craning their necks to look at one another. And that's a good time when it almost happens.
Mm-hmm.
I like the way they did it. I don't know, it was cute. And usually, like,
was creative.
implied kisses make me angry, but this one didn't. Because
I
normally, I'm like,
usually
no, I want to see
prefer
it.
them, because a lot of the time when there is a kiss, it feels like they're just kind of...
Like standing
It's
there.
like... Well, no, it feels too cliche when they do have a kiss, so when they, like, only have an implied kiss, or and stuff like
that's
that's probably that's one of my favorite parts of Pacific Rim, is that
Mhm.
there's like a lot of romantic tension between the two main characters, but like in the end they don't force the romance
Yeah.
at all, because the
That's
movie's
always
about
nice.
giant fighting robots and monsters,
Mhm.
but
I
you know
think
that
for me-
subplot there is nice, but they don't need to do anything fancy to it.
I think usually the reason why I say I hate the implied kisses is because I often watch a lot of romance-heavy anime when that is part of the plot, so when it doesn't happen, you're like, really?
You're waiting
We're
for the
gonna
kiss,
do
and then
all
it never
that and
does.
it doesn't happen? Like,
Yeah.
are you shitting me? You know what I mean? Whereas
Yeah.
when it's something like this movie or Howl's Moving Castle, I mean, you technically see them kiss in Howl's Moving Castle, but
Yeah.
barely, you know what I
Isn't
mean?
Howl's Moving Castle the only Ghibli movie with a kiss in it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it really?
I think
Yeah.
so, yeah.
My gosh, I never noticed.
But that's the thing, you don't care, right? Because those movies, the romance is just like an undertone, right?
I always...
Yeah.
If you want to get technical, Son gives Ashitaka mouth to feed him, but
Sexy baby bird feeding. Nom, 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 nom.
I guess that counts.
See, I kind of like when it's just a friendship, though, too. Like, just a... This movie kind of almost gave me
They're allowed
flashbacks to, like,
friends.
Castle in the Sky. And,
Mhm.
yeah, I like if they're just allowed to be friends. And I was kind of... When I was reviewing this movie in my head, I was like, if there wasn't the implied kiss and everyone else acting like they're together as a romantic couple, they could have just been friends, and I would have been happy with that.
I like it. I liked the romance part. If they would have been going for the just friends part, I don't think I would have liked it as much.
I don't
No.
think so either. I think it would have been drier.
It's not the just friends aspect, it's the they're comfortable with one another and they're friends as well as romantic interests. Like,
Which I feel like they kind of did in this movie,
Yeah,
though.
Yeah.
I thought they did that fine.
Yeah.
and I just felt, that's what I'm saying, is like, if they didn't have the implied kiss and everyone else reacting, if it just stayed like them looking like they were friends, I would be happy with that because it feels like there's a genuine friendship there.
Mm.
And I like that it feels like a genuine friendship. And like, based on more than just like, ooh, he's hot, ooh, she's
Mhm.
hot, like, let's bang. I like that their relationship is more intimate than just like romantic kissing due to the situation.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm being a downer today, and
You are being a downer, fucker. We've
not
got
trying to
Sneaky
dis-
Veda and Downer Becca.
I'm not trying to disagree
asshole
with the
Liam.
romance. I'm trying to say
Whoa.
that I liked the way
and
they did
Leah,
the
the
romance.
innocent one.
Leah, the soul crusher.
Why am I the soul crusher?
Because you
Aw.
always pick the worst animes.
Well, yeah. Okay, so we covered the story. I think we all agreed that the animation was...
It looked
Really pretty
nice.
and on par.
Yeah, yeah.
and I guess we also kind of just touched on characters, too.
Oh, I
For the
got
most part.
I got so much more negative stuff to say about characters, but I'm not going to unless we want to get into it.
I don't know, see, I actually liked the characters. Like, I didn't... Okay, maybe not the villain, but I think we've already covered him
We have,
very
yeah.
well. I just always like when I find a female character that doesn't drive me crazy.
Yeah, she reminded me a lot of Nausicaa.
Oh, really?
From Nausicaa, the Valley of the Wind.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
The way she's presented it at first, especially where she's all done up like her adventuring gear and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But then they don't let her fucking do anything. And I
was gonna say that her character kind of annoyed me in that sense, where she's like, she was just sort of like, "Oh, save me, main character guy. I'm sad now."
Like that. Like I know they she did say that at one point, but she kind of just didn't really.
She just did nothing.
Do anything. Like I like her personality.
Yeah.
But I feel like the movie also didn't really
give
the character opportunity to do anything.
I don't think they gave the characters a lot of opportunity to do anything. I think they said, okay, here's our beginning point, our end point, and this is how we want it to go in the middle. Fuck what the characters would do to, like, mess up this nice little plan we've written.
Ooh. I had something I wanted to talk about.
Bring it.
Did no one else think at one point... Okay, so for the listeners to know, what's Lagos?
Yeah.
Is this guy this man who lived in the underground community with Patema.
Yeah.
He's a lot older than her, and he used to go and adventure out into the upper world.
Almost like an uncle figure to her.
Yeah, but the thing is I thought that was her dad, because they don't tell you what relationship they have in the movie.
I thought it was too.
And then you also find out that Eiji also has a dad as well, but they don't show you his face right off the bat. So they both kind of like talk about these mysterious older men in their lives, and it's like, oh my god, is this going to turn into they both have the same father? And
oh my god, but they made out.
Thing.
Yeah. Okay, good. It's not just me, because the whole time I was waiting, I'm like, is this going to turn into...
I was like, Veda's freaking out so hard.
Anymore.
This is not...
Veda's freaking out so hard her internet's breaking.
I know.
Let's just give her a minute to catch up.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I was
just like waiting for it to happen.
I was worried like he was going to be up on top of the hill all over again.
Yes, and it's like, we're related. It's like, oh fuck, well we kissed that one time, well now what the fuck do we do?
See, I thought that they clarified that Edgy's dad worked with Lagos?
They do, but not like right off the bat.
Oh, okay.
So when they kind of just like, you know, are preluding to the fact that Eiji's dad's not around anymore and like what he used to do and stuff like that, but they don't show you his face right away. I was like, oh, that's why Lagos always goes to the surface, because he's got a baby mama there.
Ladies.
Exactly.
But then that wasn't the case.
Well, and I wish
was fine.
I kind of wish they had done
way more wholesome.
I kind of wish they had done more with Lagos, because he seems like he was such an important character to Patema, and then it's like he just kind of disappears.
Actually, yeah, because the leader of Aiga has him like frozen in his office.
Is that the person he has?
He's not frozen. He was in water, like he was dead.
Yeah, and it is. Oh, he is dead. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, he was drowned.
If he was dead or if he was being like
like cryo freeze.
Yeah, something. Exactly.
I didn't remember them showing his face as the person in the tube, so I wasn't sure if it was him or not. Although I know they mentioned it later on that like he's dead now, and I was like, oh, that must have been the person
because
in the tube.
This might not have happened in the dub, but in the sub it says the villain essentially insinuates that the way he describes the man in the tube makes it obvious that it's Lagos.
Okay.
So yeah. That might be something that fell through in the dub.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like I said, I was watching the subtitles at the same time, but I was like, I'm watching the dub. I don't need to read all of these. And so I would tune in occasionally just to compare like the translation to the other translation, but yeah.
Something I was going to comment on about the Lagos thing. When they had like a whole sequence where they showed like the flashback between Lagos and Eiji's father, and how they'd like created that balloon machine thing to fly into the sky or whatever, and it was just told through like a series of like still shots.
Yeah.
I don't know, but for whatever reason that whole scene just bothered me, because I was like, if you added like even 2 seconds of animation here and there where they were just like laughing or something, it would look so much better than just like a solid minute of still shots with some music in the background.
They did that a couple times, didn't they? Where it's just like a montage of still images, and
I think so. Yeah. But that was the one where it really stuck out to me as being like really awkward.
I could see that.
It might just be me, personal gripe, but I was like, if this had a little bit more animation, like a little bit of effort, it would look so much better, and it would just add more character to this scene.
Well, it would let you get to know Edgy's father a little bit better as to, like, what kind of person he was besides all the hearsay and...
And it's like the pictures were fine, and it described it well enough, but it was just kind of flat.
It struck me kind of as, like, they didn't have enough budget to do everything they quite wanted to do, so that was their creative solution for some of the shots.
Yeah, that could also be it, which is fair. Yeah. I'm not gonna say the movie is terrible because of that one scene, like, it's not. I like the movie.
No.
I liked, just to go back to characters a bit, my favorite characters were the, like, her protectors in the underground, like the old man and then her other guardian guy who's, like, in love with her but just has no chance, who's stuck in the friend zone.
I thought that dude was her brother until he was like, and then he realized she was another guy, and I was like, wow, I missed the fact that they were...
I thought it was pretty heavily implied that he liked her at the
Well,
movie.
I kind of took it as, like,
brotherly love.
Yeah, and that's so, like, when it like changed up and I found out that, like, oh no, they're not brother and sister, I was like, obviously I missed that, that's on me. But up until that point, I was like, I thought they were brother and sister.
Yeah.
Speak.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you
Are
hear
you
me?
there? You're so
Hello?
quiet now. Hello.
Is that better?
We didn't mean to crush you like a little bird. I liked the movie.
I'm gonna need lots of time to heal.
Maybe we should have let Liam talk first about why it was good before I came in and told everybody why I thought it was bad.
Well, it's funny because you started.
You hit it
Liam's
right
like,
on that rail.
Because Liam's like, I really liked it, and Becca's like, I really, really didn't, and then,
Then it's discussion.
yeah. Maybe we'll make that a new rule. The good first, bad later.
I didn't mean to crush you, Liam. It's not that it was a bad movie. It's just I didn't enjoy it as much as I wanted to, and I really wanted to enjoy it. Like I said, I was excited to watch another anime movie. A lot of the anime movies I've watched have turned out really, really good, and I've really enjoyed them. So then when this one happened, I was just like, oh.
Yeah.
And then
And that's kind of why I wanted us to watch something that wasn't Studio Ghibli and wasn't by, oh fuck, I can never remember his name.
Oh,
Summer.
Hasuka Maramuto? Oh my god.
Let me just look it up.
I can see it in my head.
I know, right?
Hasuka
I just always miss some of the vowels in his name.
Yeah. Sorry, listeners. Once again, English-speaking Becca strikes. Don't do that.
Mamoru Hosoda.
Oh,
there we go.
So, like, Summer Wars, Wolf Children, blah, blah, blah. Because those are, like, the two...
The Boy and the Beast. We could talk about The Boy and the Beast today, too.
But yeah, those are, like, two kind of big anime movie names that everyone's seen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of why I wanted us to watch something different. But I'm excited for anime movies in general.
If you hadn't told me about this, I wouldn't have known it existed. So
Exactly, right? But I feel like there's a lot of really good anime movies out there that should get more attention, and especially because I find the animation in anime movies
tends to be better.
Is always like...
Yeah.
Because they have a bigger budget, right?
Yeah, bigger budget and less screen time. So they're usually just so pretty.
See, and I would argue that this movie, that there's ways it could be fixed or made better.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a complete lost cause. And,
it has its
flaws. I really enjoyed the music. The music was really nice.
Oh, me too.
Mm-hmm.
I should have said.
Visually, it was pretty good. It was really just the characters and the story that got me. And
to me, I think if you, like, basically go and watch it and just, like, ignore everything we said, I think a lot of people would really, really enjoy it. I enjoyed it. I agree when I sat back and thought about it a little bit. Yeah, there were some plot holes, but I've never been someone who... I'm really mindless when I watch things. And that's the whole point of me watching things. I want to escape. I don't want to think about it. I just want to be entertained. So, in that case, that's usually why I end up enjoying things. It's like the same reason why I kind of liked Captain Earth. Because at the time, that's all my brain needed.
Well, and that might be part of it too.
Which I never did finish, by the way.
Maybe
how good that was.
Maybe I just wasn't in the mood for this kind of movie, and I wasn't quite in the mood to kind of just, like, let things go a bit, because like I said, I'm more than happy sometimes to just let a movie go and let it run its course. When I come out, I go, well, everything wasn't perfect, but overall I was entertained. And this one, it didn't quite feel that way, but...
I think, for me anyway, the reason I started kind of poking holes in it was, when I first looked at it, I kind of expected more of an adventure movie for some reason. I don't know why. I was like, oh, cool, we're gonna go on this, like, epic adventure, and they're gonna have, like, different gravities, and it's gonna play some sort of important role as to what they're going for and how they do stuff and get around things and everything and obstacles. And then it was just sort of more of, like, a really, like, toned down sort of slow story.
Yeah.
Where it had, like, fast-paced moments, but it was, like, kind of... I don't know. I was bored for the middle half of the movie. Like, the beginning and end were really good, but the middle half was where I just sort of was like, what's gonna happen?
Also, you gotta keep in mind that this was released as a 4-episode movie.
Was it?
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, it was released in 4 episodes.
I didn't
like, if you there's little fades in the movie where you can tell where, like, the episodes end.
Oh, that makes sense. I was wondering.
Definitely build the tension up a bit and build, like, it would help with that aspect of things.
Also, I forgot what I was gonna say. There's something you said, Veda, that gave me an idea.
I was talking about how I expected it to be a different movie, more of an adventure, different obstacles. The beginning and end was good, but the middle was boring.
A little bit less of a direct storyline.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot what I was gonna say.
That's alright. I ended up watching the second half of the movie, because I watched half of it, and then my mom came home, and then I was like, oh, hey. So then she ended up watching the second half of the movie with her, and I asked her what she thought of it. I kind of just, like, quickly explained it to her. Just for a frame of reference, my mother really loves Ghibli movies. Like, every time we go to watch a movie, she's like, do you want to watch a Ghibli film?
I wish my mom was like that.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay. So I was like, do you want to watch this? She was like, yeah, sure. And when I asked her, she was kind of disappointed, I'd say, with what it was. She said it was kind of long for what it was, and that there wasn't a lot of dialogue, which I was like, oh, I didn't really notice. But I watched the sub, and my mom doesn't usually watch subs, and she was like, but I was able to follow it really easy because they weren't talking all that much. So she was like, it's a great movie for people who aren't used to subs yet because they don't talk very fast and there's not a lot of it.
You know what? That's actually not a bad point. I feel like this would be, like, a really good movie to watch if you're just, like, getting into anime.
A good intro, definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Although I'd be... No,
Hmm.
I'm not going to finish that statement. I've already been super negative today, so I'm just going to keep it to myself.
Oh, yeah. And then, like, other than that, she was, like, just kind of disappointed for the most part. And then she was kind of poking holes in it, too, where she was like, why didn't they just put metal boots on her and then she could stand on the planet or whatever?
Because then
like,
they
they
can't
stop her
snuggle.
feet.
But what if they, like, strap the boots into her feet?
Well, the boots would, like, move her feet, but her entire body would still, like, be...
Like, hang.
It'd be really uncomfortable. And then...
She would still feel like that would feel like she was hanging upside down.
Yeah, exactly.
It would remove all the reasons for them to snuggle.
That's true. But even if it was, like, for a short period of time, for just, like, if they were running somewhere or trying to get to different hiding places.
Fuck.
It would take away...
I remembered what I was gonna say.
Do it. Let's hear it.
The entire movie, I was just thinking, like, how are they gonna fuck? How are they gonna fuck?
I thought about that
bound
too.
to be some way, but what's the best way?
I'm thinking like a really low table.
I'm lying if I didn't think of that either.
Mm-hmm.
A really low table would solve the problem, because one's pressed up against the table, the other one's pressed against the floor, and then you just gotta thrust.
Oh, dear.
Okay.
Then you're restricted to one position. There's gotta be a better way.
And that would still be, like, really hard for the person on... Well, no, actually, that could work. But
really
I'm thinking, like, a really low table, like...
Like, you
How would you find a table
you need someone to, like, put the table on top of you after you
just
both lie down.
Yeah. That, or, like...
Joy.
Yeah, like I said. Maybe they just have some mutual masturbation to start. See if they even want the relationship to go that direction. Maybe they just want to stay friends.
They'll just
I mean, like,
69.
if you're really into mutual masturbation and 69's good for you, but like,
Guys, I got it.
Once like I get a taste of something, you gotta have the whole meal deal.
No, you guys. Wheelbarrow.
What?
You're gonna have to explain this.
Wheelbarrow position. Come on.
Oh.
Think about it.
Oh god.
I'm seeing it in my head, and I'm trying to think of if it would be painful on the back or not. I think it'd be fine.
Young and skinny. They
Doesn't
could
matter.
do it.
Yeah, they're
sex.
flexible. Doesn't matter, had sex. Yeah, no. That was
Right?
definitely, I'm not gonna lie, that was a thought that crossed my head too, where I was like, how would they? And then I started immediately thinking of solutions.
Oh
So,
boy.
That's what we all
rope
think.
bondage.
Yeah.
Quality.
I don't know.
Anyway,
Yeah. Is there more to discuss on this movie?
anything else?
I would just like to say, listeners, that despite how thoroughly we may have
Destroyed this
kind of
movie?
unintentionally destroyed this movie,
Well, I tried to make it appealing, but people had other ideas.
I would
I wanted
suggest...
to make it appealing. I was gonna come into this and be like, "Oh, I really liked it, and I thought it was super cute, and like it had a few issues, but that was fine," because that's like how I felt about it.
Mm-hmm.
That is how I feel about it. I still think it's enjoyable. To be honest, you know how you were talking about Castle in the Sky earlier, Becca?
Yes.
I enjoyed this movie more than Castle in the Sky. That said,
I would put
It's been
them...
a long time since I've watched it.
I think there was also a lot of build-up for me for when I finally watched Castle in the Sky.
Yeah.
But anyway, I would still put them on the same level.
I would put them on the same level as well, because Castle in the Sky, I had the issue that Veda had with this movie. I expected it to be a different kind of story, and that's on me. That's my problem, my issue, whatever. But yeah, like, story-wise and like how I feel coming out of them, I definitely would put them on the same level, which is saying a lot, because it puts this movie on the same level as a Studio Ghibli movie.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. Like, the fact that I put this on a Ghibli level means, obviously, I enjoyed it in a lot of frames. It's pretty good.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I feel like it just indicates how little I liked Castle in the Sky. Well, it's not that I didn't like Castle in the Sky, but I definitely
No,
didn't
but I was like,
enjoy it
whatever
as much
about
as
Castle in
others.
the Sky, and I,
Yeah.
yeah.
I like Castle in the Sky.
I like it. It was
It's not
just
my
nothing
favorite
special.
Ghibli.
It wasn't
No,
my favorite.
it's not my favorite, but I think I'd rather, if I had a choice between Patema and Castle in the Sky, I'd probably pick Castle in the Sky.
Yeah, I'd pick Castle in the Sky as well.
But that isn't to say that Patema isn't a good movie. Like, I still enjoyed it. The animation was really pretty. The backgrounds were like amazingly well drawn, and yeah, it's worth it to see it in a nice quality. The music was really nice. It was basically, yeah, like Becca said, like the story and characters that were kind of iffy at times, and the writing a bit. But that doesn't mean it's terrible.
For me, it's like if you're...
I wouldn't put it on Ghibli level though.
No, but I'm saying it's comparable to one of the lesser Ghibli movies.
Yeah.
In certain respects, depending what your tastes are.
Yeah.
That's
But,
yeah, that too.
I
Yeah.
think the important thing to come away from this too was that, like, not every Studio Ghibli is the
A
best
masterpiece
ever. There's definitely a couple that are not as great as others.
Tales from Earthsea, cough. I know that wasn't highly
Oh, no.
Miyazaki, but still.
Hey,
Tales
well,
of
have you read
Earthsea
is
the
really
Earthsea
not good.
books?
I read
Nope.
the first Earthsea book, and there's no recollection of the Earthsea books in the Earthsea movie besides like
Well, just a tiny bit.
the tiniest little bit, but like no, not
I'm
even.
not saying Tales of Earthsea was good, but I didn't mind it.
I vote next special episode. We just have everything Ghibli.
Every
We watch
time-
all-
Special episode is my choice.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be a surprise.
Liam's gonna be the boss there. He'll pick something out for us.
And you can't tell me what's good and what's bad, because it's my episode.
Well,
I don't
you know
care
what,
you
Liam?
think.
I'm glad you enjoyed my pick. I'm glad someone did.
We all enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I
thanks.
enjoyed it.
You know what? This isn't a Bobo episode. This isn't a School Days episode. This isn't even a 009-1,
Ugh.
whatever the fuck.
Nothing ever will be.
We need to come up with a name for
and
that
that
one.
wasn't me. That was Liam.
Yeah, true enough. This
Okay,
isn't
well,
want
I
that
picked
stated.
that blind,
This-
almost.
bad
Hello?
like those kind of animes. This is worth checking out. This is a movie worth forming your own opinion about.
Mm-hmm.
I
To me,
would
just
say don't
visually,
watch
it's so stimulating. Like, it's really cool. Like, the concept is different. Like, unless you're one of the people who have seen that Upside Down movie, it's nothing I had ever really
I
considered.
hadn't seen the Upside Down movie, but part of me, I was wondering while I was watching it, because I had heard of the Upside Down movie, and I was like, I'm curious if they came from the same idea, or if this is just suddenly a concept that, like, a couple different people have thought of. Because, like I said, the concept is really interesting. I really would like somebody to go back and fix the problems I had with this movie, and then give me a new movie, because I'd like to watch a better version of this.
Nice.
Becca just needs to write her own movies.
Yeah, somebody give me a job to write movies, and I'll make them great, or they'll suck, because I'm not that... I don't know. Becca just needs to stop being so grumpy all the time.
Yay.
Alright, did everyone get their kind of last piece there? Liam, did you?
You're
Yeah, I
so
think
quiet
so.
today, Liam.
Okay.
I didn't
Because
hear
we
you.
crushed his soul and then, like, stepped on it.
I meant to just stay quiet until I got my turn to say something, but then my turn came sooner than I expected, and I just had to let it all out. I've been thinking about this all afternoon, so...
Alright, listeners, well, that was the Patema Inverted special episode. I liked it. We all decently liked it. Still worth checking out, so...
Should we give ratings out of 10?
Check
Worth
it
a
out.
watch.
I'd like a rating
I
out
would
of
give
10.
it a 7 out of 10.
Veda?
A 6 out of 9.
Fuck off, come on!
I'll give it a...
I had to.
I'm gonna give it a 7.69.
Nice. Nice.
Very fitting.
I will give it a 4.9 out of 10.
Just because
Boom.
she just doesn't want to do a 5.
Cheap. I'm really, like, right on the verge of, like, is this a 5 out of 10 movie? I don't feel good about saying that, but it's not a 4 out of 10 movie, so whatever. You know what? If you don't like my reviews, come at me, bro. I'm on Facebook at 4Weebs. Let me know how you feel.
Liam?
Alright.
Oh, we don't did it, yeah. And
what,
just for the record, on my anime list that we so commonly reference,
Fuck.
gave it an 8.2.
Yeah, well.
IMBD gave it a 7.4. So on average, it's about like a 7.6.
7.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine was the closest.
It was.
Liam got it.
You can never go wrong with a 69.
Okay, so I'm terrible and I don't really remember what's happening, but we're
It's
gonna
my
pick.
turn!
It's
my
Becca's
turn! I got the
Pick
red
the
marble.
anime.
I had to watch all the shitty stuff last week, as well as the good stuff, so it's my turn to make people watch shit.
Alright, so we're gonna draw some marbles. Whoever gets the red marble watches the bad. We're back to normal now.
So,
Watches the bad, picks someone to watch it with them, and Becca's gonna tell us what we're
Yeah.
all watching.
so I can never remember. Do we say what the animes are first, or do we draw marbles
After.
first?
After.
Draw
right.
the marbles
Because
first.
it's so... Alright.
It's been 28 episodes.
I know, you'd think I would have this in my head already, but we never really stick to, like, a set schedule about stuff, so
True.
I'm gonna give
Yeah.
myself a pass
No
on this.
problem.
Who would like to draw marbles first?
Me.
Alright. You get a white marble.
Alright.
Yay!
I was gonna say we should let Liam pick the order since we stepped on him this.
Oh, sorry.
Picking the order doesn't do much.
I know, but it might have made you feel like a special snowflake, Liam.
Well, it wouldn't have.
Well, I
Fuck you.
tried.
Do you want to go next, Liam?
Sure, whatever.
You got a white marble. Oh, fuck.
Cool.
Leah, do you
Dun,
want to go
dun.
next?
You and me.
I don't want to be the bad person 2 weeks in a row. You got a white marble. Fuck off.
Becca.
Are you sure you're not doing this to yourself? Are you
You rigging it?
using yourself to do this?
As we've... Not rigging it.
I know. In this podcast. I hear the sadness in your voice.
I'm
I
starting...
just want to watch something good.
I'm starting to have so much hard time picking out shows. I'm just like,
But you got to watch some really good ones in the
I
last couple
have.
weeks.
Yeah, I have got to watch a couple good ones. I also had to watch a couple shitty ones, so...
Well, so did I. It's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Alright, so... This week's theme, coming up, this is actually a shout out to Liam, in the grand scheme of things. So in school, Liam introduced us to a YouTube channel called H3H3. If you don't know about H3H3, they do like video reviews and shit on YouTube. They're a pretty big deal. And Ethan and Gila Klein, who run H3H3, also have a side show where it's the two of them, like, chitty-chatting and stuff like that. They're a really, really fun couple to watch.
A vlog.
Yeah, so they're sponsored by Crunchyroll. Good for them. And I was watching an episode the other day where they mentioned their Crunchyroll subscription, and then Ethan was listing off some animes he's watched recently that he's enjoyed. So I didn't actually go for the jugular and pick, like, anything super shitty this week. One anime that he suggested that we're going to call the good anime, just because its score is higher on my anime list, is Hunter x Hunter, or Hunter x
I've heard of
Hunter.
this, yeah.
Oh no.
I think it's just called Hunter x Hunter.
It's Hunter x Hunter.
Okay, Hunter x Hunter.
Yep, sorry.
I'll probably say it 5 different ways next episode, so we cover all of the different ways it could be said.
Question.
Yes.
Are we watching the old one or the new one?
Yeah.
New one.
New one?
There's like
Right.
an older, there's like a 90s version, isn't there?
The one I'm looking
And then
at
there's
is
like a
the one I'm looking at is 2011. So it has
Okay.
a 9.14 on my anime list.
Mm-hmm.
So Hunter x Hunter is set in a world where hunters exist to perform all manners of dangerous tasks, like capturing criminals and bravely searching for lost treasures in uncharted territories. 12-year-old Gon Frises is determined to become the best hunter possible in hopes of finding his father, who was a hunter himself, and had long ago abandoned his young son. Yes?
Becca,
Yes?
who else is watching the bad anime? Did I miss that?
I hadn't picked anyone yet.
Finish the synopsis.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Let me. Jesus Christ, Veda! Timing.
Fuck.
Oh.
I thought about it.
Yeah, no, fair point. I forgot about that. We'll get to that in a minute, because I hadn't even thought about it. However, Gon soon realizes the path to achieving his goals is far more challenging than he could ever imagine. Along the way to becoming a hunter, he befriends a lively doctor in training, a rebellious ex-assassin, as well as another person that's like the same age as him. I'm not going to actually read the synopsis word for word because it's too long. Sounds like a good time. Like I said,
I volunteer myself as tribute to watch the bad one because I've never had any desire to watch this anime.
Sounds good. Leah and I will watch the bad one then.
Cool.
Bad, quote, bad.
I might regret that, but I don't know.
I don't think
had the desire.
So, yeah, so like I said, 9.14 on my anime list. It's ranked number 5. Popularity is number 51. It looks like it'll be a great old time. So then our bad anime is called, the English version is called Erased.
Oh my god!
Or Boku Dake ga Inyamashi. Wow. Fucking
Sorry.
send
Wow.
me to Japan. I am set.
It's a long name.
Yeah, it's a long name with a lot
I've heard of this.
weird words. Alright, so when tragedy is about to strike, Satora Fujumi finds himself sent back several minutes before the accident occurs. The detached 29-year-old manga artist has taken advantage of this powerful yet mysterious phenomenon, which he calls revival, to save many lives. However, when he is wrongfully accused of murdering someone close to him, Satoru is sent back to the past once again, but this time to the year 1988, 18 years into the past. Soon he realizes that the murder may have been connected to the abduction and killing of one of his classmates, the solitary and mysterious Kaio, that took place when he was a child. This is his chance to make things right again. This is a fairly new anime. It has an 8.73 on my anime list. It came out just this past winter season, I believe.
Yeah.
And this is one.
This is on my list to watch.
This is one that Papa
I feel
Ethan.
kind of torn.
Yeah, Papa Ethan
Part
said
of
that
me
it
wants
was
to watch
great.
one, and part of me wants to watch the other.
Yeah, well, this was when he started listing them off. I will agree. I am not actually very interested in Hunter x Hunter, but the Erased sounded really interesting, and I figured, we've had a couple really rough weeks, so let's do something nice for ourselves. Let's see what Papa
Thanks,
Ethan's
Becca.
anime tastes are like. Here's hoping they're good.
We'll find out.
Yep. All next week. Do we have anything else to say before I do the social media plug?
Nope. Plug away.
ooh, we're going to Otafest this weekend.
Yeah, that's right. Well,
Of
that
course,
would probably have already
no one will
happened.
hear about
Yes,
this because
it will have already
Otafest will have
happened.
happened 3 weeks ago rather than right now. So I guess ignore that entire statement. Social media, we're on Facebook, we're on iTunes. Check us out.
Maybe our past selves will post a little 20-minute interlude about Oakfest.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I've mentioned it on other episodes.
Yeah, we have mentioned
Yeah.
it before, so I don't know, if you're in Calgary or Alberta in general, and you meant to go to Otafest, but you're only remembering about it right now, well, maybe you should...
Up.
Yeah, you done fucked up there, sucker.
And go next
see you
year.
next year. Yeah,
And
check
that's
it
it.
out. That's what I got.
Alright.
Tune in next
Cool.
week.
Thanks for listening.
Come back
Sayonara.
again.
Don't you fall in love with that upside down boy.
Okay.
Don't you fall in love with that upside down boy without fucking him in a weird upside down manner first.
Hey, you know what? For our perverted listeners out there, if you have a solution to this problem of how Patema and Eiji would do it,
Bring it.
comment.
Bring it. I want to see some illustrations.
Yes.
Oh boy.
That would be excellent.
If you
Some nice
comment,
fan art.
I would just like to say, I'm sure everyone else will agree, if anyone comments with an illustration, they can pick the animes we watch one week.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Done.
Cheeseburger.
Yeah. I like
All
that
right.
idea.
Okay.
All right. Bye,
Good night.
listeners.
Bye.